Hello and welcome to the Value Chain TV News Update. I am Adalvio Gujofor with the news. And on the news update, the organized labor has insisted on 250,000 naira as the new minimum wage, stating that it would not negotiate what it described as starvation wage. According to the Assistant General Secretary of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Chris Onyeka, Labour would not accept the latest offer of 62,000 naira and the 100,000 naira proposal made by some individuals and economists. This is as the NLC President Joe Ajaero said the unionists were waiting on President Bola Tinubu to consider Labour's offer. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has again reassured the banking public of the safety of their deposits and the resilience of the nation's banking system. Acting Director Corporate Communications, Mrs. Hakama Sidi Ali, gave the assurance in a statement in Abuja. The statement follows concerns in some quarters about the stability of some Nigerian banks in the wake of the revocation of Heritage Bank PLC's license. Sidi Ali faulted claims that the CBN was considering revoking the operating licenses of Fidelity, Polaris, Wema, and Unity banks, while clarifying that it was the boards of the banks that were affected. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has called for liquidity for the power sector. Edun called for the need for liquidity into the power sector in his submission to the committee investigating the controversial Makeup gas reprocessing deal involving the Ministry of Finance, NDPHC, Calabar Generation Company Limited, and ACUGAS Limited. The minister, who made the submission through his special assistant Dahiru Moi, said the agreement on gas supply between NDPHC and ACUGAS Limited was inherited by former President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015, since it was signed in 2011 during President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. This is coming just as the managing director of the Niger Delta Power Holding Company, Chiedu Ugbo, informed the Senate Committee on Power that the Calabar Power Generation Company under its ownership is the best performing power plant in the country. The federal government has raised alarm over the renewed smuggling of petrol following the increase in pump price of the commodity in neighboring countries. Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, said at a press conference in Yola that the Nigerian Customs had joined forces with the Office of the National Security Advisor to tackle the problem. He stated that while the average price of petrol in Nigeria was about 701 naira per litre, the average cost of the product in neighboring countries was 1,787 naira per litre, a development that heightened PMS smuggling out of Nigeria in the last 2 weeks. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has signed a deal with a North American firm, Golar LNG, to float liquefied natural gas offshore in the Niger Delta region. This was disclosed in a statement by the spokesperson for NNPC, Olufemi Sonye, in Abuja. Sonye said the project development agreement aims to utilize approximately 400 to 500 MMSCF per day and produce liquefied natural gas and liquefied petroleum gas and condensate in the country. The government of the United Kingdom attracted $85 million investment into Nigeria's manufacturing sector through its Manufacturing Africa program since 2020, according to a statement by the Senior Press and Public Affairs Officer of the British High Commission. Deputy British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Johnny Baxter, disclosed this at a ceremony to announce the funding of 3 Nigerian-based clean energy companies in order to expand renewable energy access in the country. Baxter said that the Manufacturing Africa program has so far supported 31 Nigerian companies to raise investments in sectors including agro-processing, industrial parks, pharmaceuticals, vehicle manufacturing, e-mobility, and renewable energy. The Minister of Transportation, Saidu Alkali, said that the government has begun the conversion of locomotive railway engines from diesel to compressed natural gas (CNG). Saidu, who spoke to Idu National Railway Station Abuja, said that the government intends to drastically reduce the cost of maintenance as well as maintain a clean environment against carbon emissions. The minister also informed that the target is to bring down the cost of maintenance to about 60 to 70% as well as control carbon emissions because that is the only way to control local environmental hazards. Value Chain TV spoke to some Nigerians regarding this development. The report.
If Nigeria got the resources to have one of the best rail line in the country, you see, moving from locomotive to, in South Africa we call it the electric train. You see, electric train. So it goes under the tunnel and between Johannesburg, South Africa, Johannesburg and Pretoria, and Cape Town as well. I feel Nigeria got the capability of doing that. But it's so unfortunate, as in people in the top stream make it so difficult for this dream to be actualized. You know, so difficult. But if the private sector can be involved in this initiative, I think it's something that can bring sustainability and it actually alleviate what we call climate change. You know, the reduction of people using their mobile transport to their respective places, then travel by the electric train. You see, so traveling with the electric train can save you the time and also save you the cost, petroleum costs and other things. Nigeria got the resources, we got the manpower, and we got the money to do that. South Africa is not richer than Nigeria. Yes, they are not. Nigeria is far richer than South Africa. You see. So I'm so disheartening when I see the infrastructural development in South Africa, you see, and I see how the kind of resource South Africa is having. They're not having resources more than Nigeria. We have more resources than South Africa. But in terms of structural development, they are far more advanced than Nigeria.
It is more better to use the CNG or the diesel as the government has said, or the electric vehicles. If you look at the situation of the world now, due to the climate change and everything, so I think it's better the implementation to use the diesel and the CNG vehicle. I think it's a good idea. I'm in 100% in support of it. The government is willing to, it will sustain. It will. Because when you look at the cost of petrol, the sufferness is too much. So I think if the government do some changes and implement some things, it will be better for all.
I think the idea of the government is a fantastic one, though it may be difficult at the start. Particularly when you look at the fact that we don't have the necessary facilities or equipment on ground to easily facilitate and assist the new innovation that we're bringing into be. Because, for instance, when you are going into CNG, it's good that CNG is cost effective. And not only that, to go a long way to cut down on the effects of carbon dioxide, you know, affecting the planet, the ozone layers, and all of that, climate change factors, you know, when you put that into perspective. So, but you also have to look at the fact that how many of these buses can we be able to produce to go around the cities, to go around the villages where most Nigerian populations live and carry on their businesses.
And that's it on the Value Chain TV News Update. I am Adalbia Ogwejofo. Thanks for watching.